What is up, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be telling you the exact process that I go through when setting up simple systems for businesses, allowing them to save upwards of 500, 1,000 plus hours a year back inside of their business. Thanks to the amazing feedback, this is going to be a completely raw, uncut, unedited video. Nothing that I say is going to be determined by what I think my clients are going to say about me or not being able to admit to how I'm actually fulfilling for my clients the struggles that I'm going through. So I'm documenting everything I'm doing as a systems integrator for those of you who are, operational thinkers or you're puzzle solvers or you really have a keen for automation systems or operations and you want to package it up and offer it to the market as a fractional COO or as a systems integrator. So guys, this process was essentially created from reiteration and feedback over the last 2 years. I don't do done for you. I don't do it yourself. I don't do done with you. I actually do a hybrid version of all three of those. And thank you to Ravi Abuvala. He has a great YouTube video. I also just did a podcast with him. He taught me how to, productize my offer and my solution so that it could be more scalable. And so this is going to be a combination of documenting processes, setting up software tools for my clients, setting up Zapier automations for my clients, documenting the systems, training them and their team on it. And so it comes down to 5 core elements because originally we just wanted to automate the client's business, build automations on top of what they were currently doing. Well, what did we realize? We realized a few things. One, they didn't have the right software tools to begin with. And we found that, we couldn't tell them to migrate to another tool. And so what we find that we are the experts and that we should be, in certain scenarios telling people, no, this is the right tool. You need to be using this tool. You can't be using this tool, etc. So number one is going to be identifying their tools and make sure that they're leveraging their tools to their fullest extent. A lot of the clients had, let's say, Asana, but they don't even have the upgraded version of Asana. So we have to, set up and let them know that it is the best course of action for them to upgrade that Asana account before we continue setting up any more systems. Hopefully that, makes sense for you guys. So from there, number one is going to be software setup. And then number two is going to be, we have to identify all the team members inside of their business. So in some of the systems and processes that we're going to document next and then set up automations for, we have to know what team members are involved, what their name and email are, so that in some of the automations, if we're like delegating a task, we can, assign it to an email or a team member directly filtered by their name. So now we know their software tech stack. Then number two, we identify all the team members involved in their process that we're looking to streamline. And then number three is going to be the documentation of the process itself. We had a lot of clients come to me, hey, I want to automate my client onboarding process. I say, hey, can you give me your SOP or your client onboarding checklist? They don't have one, right? And a lot of people aren't going to have one, and that's why they're coming to us. And so we could have either made one for them, but we really don't understand their business too well. We could give them a template of ours. There's a lot of different ways that we could have solved for this. And so we found by, having a shared library of the best online service provider internal assets for client onboarding, sales process, et cetera, allows, if they don't have one, to take from ours and copy it and go through our Loom videos that we have going over what they need to do, as well as if they already have, let's say, a client onboarding form, they can just give it to us and we consolidate it in our internal asset that holds our client's hand throughout the process called our automated OS canvas. And so this is where everything is documented from the tools to the team members to the process itself. And so we need process documentation before we can even automate the business. You can imagine it's because a few things, like we're not going to know the process itself and what automations we could set up unless we know what they're doing manually. And there's a few ways that we could go about having that be done, like listen to them on a call and take notes about their process. But no, the best way for us that we found to do this is to have them build a process map, have them build standard operating procedures and Loom videos for each task that they've identified through one of our workshops in our automated OS canvas. And then from there, now we'll have their tools, we'll have their team members, and we'll have their process itself. We'll also have the internal assets that go into that process as well. So those are the first 4 things that we need in order to finally set up the automations. And so the best part about this is you can imagine if you wanted to use AI, this is the most scalable way to fulfill automations for clients using AI, because what does the AI need to be able to tell you what automations to set up? Just like what does a human need? It needs the tech stack, it needs the process, it needs the team members involved, it needs, a visual to understand of how that process works. And so if we were using an internal AI system, which we are, a custom GPT we've trained on our service delivery, we can now take our automated OS canvas, which has, like I said, their tech stack, their team members, their documentation, their internal assets, and we can give it to the AI model and it'll be able to identify, as well as we can give it to an expert as well, it'll be able to identify every single key integration automation, whether it's 1-step, 2-step, advanced, simple. It'll be able to identify every single automation setup, and it'll even be able to start building our Zapier templates. If you do use Zapier, some people use make.com, completely based off of preference. So these are the 5 things that we found through working with our clients, hundreds of clients over the last 2 years, is the most optimal way to set up simple systems for them to allow them to save more time. It's not just, like I said, setting up an automation or just documenting your process. It is a key factor of multiple different areas of operations, to where my business model went from just being a Zapier expert to becoming a systems integrator, which is what I do today and why I made this channel and documenting this stuff for you guys. So I'd say one of the key big things for me was, after I identified this, taking a way to put it into a scalable format or a productized format. How do I communicate to the clients what they need to do, whether it's they set up their Zapier account or whether they document their process? And so this was able to be conceptualized and consolidated, like I had said, the most important thing, in our automated OS canvas, which is our internal asset that holds our client's hand throughout the fulfillment and the entire engagement. And this has a checklist for them of week 1, week 2, week 3 that they can follow along. It also has links and resources to if they're stuck on a certain point. We also took our automated OS canvas, we made a custom GPT on it that our clients use. Instead of asking us questions, hey, what do I put right here on the automated OS canvas? It's trained on the entire internal asset. And this, guys, is a Google Sheet. Eventually, once we find more product fit, we're going to invest into turning it into a software, which is the end goal here. But yeah, guys, hopefully you find that interesting. Whether you're becoming a systems integrator or you're looking to set up systems for your own business, just know those 5 elements, which is now what we call the SCALE framework: systemize, consolidate, automate, leverage, and evaluate. Systemize your business, consolidate your internal assets, automate the process after you've identified everything inside of it, leverage the right AI tools to do so, because we're also training our clients on how to use AI through this productized format while we're automating their business. And then finally, evaluate. We also set up KPI systems to track their metrics within their process. So let's say we're automating the client onboarding process. We can hook up the automations to send to a Google Sheet every time a client is onboarded or fills out the onboarding form. And now we can gather the data about their process as well. So that is the SCALE framework that we came up with off of reiteration from 2 years. That's the exact process I go for setting up systems with my clients. That's the exact tool or internal asset I set up to be able to do it in a streamlined way. And from there, hopefully you guys can take away from this and say, wow, this really makes a lot of sense. I see why just building automations wouldn't work if a client didn't have an onboarding form, or if a client was using WhatsApp with 10 team members instead of Slack. And so all of these variables, it is not going to happen overnight, whether, depending on what kind of company you're running, that you're going to identify the highest leverage way to do each one. But eventually, for feedback and talking to your clients, you're going to learn. So it's the most important thing you can do as a systems integrator is get feedback from your clients so you can continue to reiterate. And so, yeah, thank you guys so much for, once again, all of the support. If you want to follow me on Instagram and reach out to me, I answer all DMs on Instagram. You guys have crushed it. I almost have over 4,000 followers, 1,000 followers in over 7 days. I am inspired more than I have ever been to speak on this subject that I felt I had to gatekeep for so long because I didn't want to saturate my market, or I didn't want my clients to see it and not want to work with me because, I'm talking about the things I'm learning and the things that aren't working and the things that are working. So thank you guys. If you like this raw format and this raw style, please comment down below. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you're struggling with any bottlenecks. I'd love to help you guys out. And if you're interested in getting access to our automated OS canvas and becoming a private client, I'll leave a link down below. But if you don't want to become a private client, you still want to get access and you want to just work with me in a mentorship group style, I'll also leave a link down below to that. And then if you're just someone who wants to learn and take in all this sauce in a membership style format, we also have a school program called systemsintegrator.io. I'll leave a link down below as well. But in the meantime, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.